In our Torah portion this morning, we read one of the worst moments in the history of our people, the sin of the golden calf. Moses is coming down from a mountain with the two tablets of the law. It was amidst thunder and lightning, the moment when the people actually heard the voice of God. It was the moment of revelation. Never anything like it before or since. Moses carrying the tablets that were engraved by the finger of God on tablets that literally came from out of space. And then Moses went and smashed them. The Jews made the golden calf, and Moses sees this idol and smashes the tablets. Eventually, the Jews were forgiven, and Moses goes back and gets a second set of tablets. But those weren't the same as the first. These were no longer from the finger of God. So the question is, how could Moses shatter God's gift to mankind? Sure, he was angry with the Jews for creating a golden calf, but aren't there other ways of expressing your anger than acting like a child does and throwing what you're holding to the ground? And yet our tradition tells us that God said to Moshe, Yasher kochacha sheshibarta. Good job, Moshe, in breaking those tablets. Yasher koach. For me, the best, most relevant explanation in all of this is found in a book called The Meshech Chachma, written at the beginning of the 20th century. Here is the Meshech Chachma's understanding of what happened. Why did the Jews build the golden calf? Not because they rejected God and not to replace God. After all, they believed in God. They had to believe in God. They had seen the hand of God with the 10 plagues, the crossing of the Red Sea, the revelation at Sinai. They weren't rejecting God. It's just that when Moshe was late in coming down from the mountain, the Jews wanted something to worship as representing God. And so they built the golden calf. And Moshe, in seeing this, realized that if the Jews were deifying a man-made golden calf, they certainly would eventually come to deify the two tablets that came directly from God. Moshe threw the tablets to the ground to show the Jewish people that the tablets were no different than the ground. Neither are inherently holy, and that nothing is to be worshipped, not a golden calf, not the 10 commandments, only God. In the Meshech Chachma's words, do not imagine that the temple and tabernacle are intrinsically holy. Far be it. The Almighty dwells amidst his children, and if they transgress his covenant, these structures become divested of all their holiness. Nothing is intrinsically holy except God himself. Christianity forgot this lesson, and eventually it made Jesus into God. And Islam never learned this lesson and viewed Muhammad with a holiness that we would never attribute to Moshe, whom we consider the greatest prophet of all, the one who knew God face to face. But after all is said and done, he was a man, not a God. I think our society has lost sight of this lesson. We are a bunch of hero worshipers. And I started to really realize this last month when there were congressional hearings regarding the flaw in Ticketmaster, which didn't allow many of her friends, her fans, to get tickets to the Taylor Swift concert. The US Congress was spending time concerned about Taylor Swift. Yes, because Taylor Swift has over 100 million followers on Instagram. She has hundreds of millions who listen to what she has to say. And a few years ago, she gave out a message on Instagram in support of a candidate. And he won because of that support. What makes Taylor Swift so important that people listen to what she has to say? Don't we realize the danger in this? That's the danger of a Kanye West. What makes him so important? Why do we care when he makes anti-Semitic statements? We care because hundreds of millions of people look up to him, just as millions of people every week read People magazine to find out what's doing with their important heroes. Al Gore put it best when he said, "The planet is in distress, and all of the attention is on Paris Hilton." We would do well to learn from the words of Frank Rich, whom I quote in my book, What We Can Really Learn from the Rich and Famous. Frank Rich, a social commentator, makes the following comment. In a country where there is no royalty and where post-Watergate politicians are held in almost universal contempt, celebrity is next to godliness. Indeed, we want to believe in celebrities for the same reason we want to believe in God. Their omnipotence and invincibility, however illusory, hold out the promise that we too have a crack at immortality. If any of these people are heroes that you worship, that should be smashed to the ground. Shabbat Shalom.